Alright guys, it's been a very strange couple of days for big releases in the video game industry, small releases that are being talked about for some unknown reason, and we're starting to understand why they're being talked about. We're starting to see the reason why media outlets are shilling for certain games. One of the big controversies had been the comparison between the characters of the gods from Hades 2 and how people are just like fantasizing about them and just like lusting after them in comparison and contrast to Eve from Stellar Blade. Apparently one's okay, but one's not. Well, another game that we're seeing a lot of media controversy and conversation about is this Zao Tales of Kenzera. Now, to be fair, in my last video talking about it, I was like, you know what? I'm glad this game has some sort of niche demographic that it's targeted for. I'm glad that they have a game that if they want to have more of an authentic African experience, go for it. That's great. Just don't expect people to play it if it's attached to Sweet Baby Inc. And of course, people have said, well, look, it was created by this guy who had this Surgent Studios where he had this thing where he lost his dad at a young age, and he made this game basically as an inspiration of his own childhood. And this character's whole purpose is to basically travel with the god of death and try to retrieve his dad. And it's like, okay, great, wonderful. If that's your thing, I got no problem with it. That's fantastic. It's a $20 game. Go play it. Apparently, nobody is interested in playing it because look at this. Currently, right now, 87 people playing it. Now, I realize I'm recording this video at like almost midnight my time, so sure, I'm on the West Coast. East Coast is probably asleep, 3 o'clock in the morning. But it has not reached 300 peak players since launch. Okay? Now, ironically on Steam, if you look at the reviews, so far, very positive reviews. 83% of the 100 user reviews have given this game a positive. That's great. There are some common critiques down below. If you look at the not recommended ones, it just says basically it's clunky, it doesn't work well, it's not optimized, and it's not that interesting, to be honest. A lot of people have complained about the main character being whiny, boring, not interesting. So there's that. But the funnier thing is that the response that we're seeing from people who are criticizing CAHOOTS and those of us who have chosen not to partake in games that are involved with Sweet Baby Inc. are to basically blame everyone else for nobody playing the game and to call us all racist for pointing out that Sweet Baby Inc. had any involvement in it whatsoever. Ironically, this person doesn't seem to get the irony of the fact that we're criticizing Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement in a game from a black creator when that black creator should have never needed to involve Sweet Baby Inc. to begin with. But none of them ask themselves why. Why did Sweet Baby Inc. need to be involved in this game? Why would a group of black women from Montreal need to consult on an African man's game about having an actual true African experience? It seems kind of strange, right? Doesn't make much sense. But of course, they're calling the people effing ghouls for criticizing this game because this man made a game to help himself deal with the grief of losing his father. So sure, I'm not saying it's not a nice story. It's a great story. Unfortunately, there's more to it than meets the eye. And of course, you still see these old tweets from people criticizing all of us for being racist trolls and engagement farmers or whatever. Okay, you know what? I'm used to hearing those kind of terms. What is very interesting, though, is this guy here, Mighty Keef, who apparently is a YouTuber. I don't know. He's got like 114,000 followers. So clearly, he's more important than I am, but I had never heard of him. So just bear with me here. He quote tweeted CAHOOTS and said, a black man made a game themed in his Kenyan culture, and people in the comments are saying things like DEI. This is what I mean when I say people just say shit they hear others say without having any idea what the word means. I'm getting the game just to spite these weirdos. Sure you are, dude. I'm sure he's playing on PlayStation or Nintendo or Xbox or something because nobody's playing it on Steam, and Steam is the largest game store that exists. And so the ironic part, and I had to bookmark this here because this is like saying the quiet part out loud. Somebody said, I saw this revealed at the Game Awards, so it makes even less sense to me why a guy like him would need or want consultation from Sweet Baby Inc. when he's already part of the culture the game is based on. To which Mighty Keef here says, I think in order to get the proper funds from shareholders, certain things need to be checked off. Consulting Sweet Baby Inc. might be one of them. Again, these people will say the quiet part out loud, not realizing you are admitting that this entire DEI consultation crap is a grift. It is a scam. It is simply a way to get better ESG scores, to get those diversity points and those diversity initiatives, to get these corporations and these hedge funds and these investment firms to give you more money. So Grums, of course, quote tweeted this guy and said, "The narrative fix is in. Mighty Keef puts Cabrutus Rambo on blast for Sweet Baby Inc. Involved game Zao. Claims he and critics are just racist and that Zao was made by a Kenyan man who just wanted to promote his culture. But Zao creator Abubakar Salim is actually an SBI insider." Now, this is the interesting part, okay? This is the really weird part. The real reason that Zao worked with Sweet Baby Inc. is because Abubakar Salim co-directed a company, Baby Sucre, with the founders of Sweet Baby Inc., Kim Belair and David Bedard, and Sweet Baby Inc. writer Amy Lee Shaw. Now, this gets really freaking weird. So he says, Zao the game isn't just a detected game, it might as well be a direct Sweet Baby Inc. game. Thanks to Real Schlemil on Twitter for digging this up. And you can see here, he found this. And down here below, in fact, they even used a Fandom Pulse article. Good on those guys. I haven't had a chance to write an article for a couple weeks. I need to get back on there. Coming to the world of Kinzera, our friends at Surgent Studios dropped the trailer for their upcoming action-adventure platformer Tales of Kinzera Zao, and this is Sweet Baby Inc. talking here. "We had the utmost pleasure of working with Abubakar Salim and the Surgent team on his poignant story, which has been heavily inspired and influenced by the Bantu mythology. We know you're going to love it as much as we do." Okay? Now, the ironic part about that, this guy Schlemil on Twitter had replied to this guy who had screenshotted this tweet from somebody named Riskit, the Last Console Purist, who had said, "So this isn't just curating a list, it's now targeting studios for harassment. While I'm against checkbox diversity in a lot of SBI's comments, actions and tactics, this is different. Let's point out why this is different. This is an indie studio releasing its first game. They needed some contractors to fill in blanks. It's an original IP about a black man created by a black man. That's not checkbox. When you're attacking diversity done right, you're screwing an IP that deserves better. The story is about dealing with grief. The studio head who wrote the story lost his dad. It's intrinsically linked to him, and the story comes from him, not SBI. Not every game SBI touches automatically turns to shit. What's happening here is wrong." That's not true. They all do. "If you want to back yourself, feel free to jump on my podcast, a space, blah, blah, blah." Fine. So down here, Schlemil responds and said he is befriended with the SBI people. He even founded a company together with them and then shared a link. And this link here takes you to this company, Baby Sucre. Baby Sucre Ltd, 4 officers, 1 resignation. Now again, the 4 officers, David Bedard, co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc. Kimberly Ann Belair, co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc. Amy Lee Shaw, who we're going to get to in a second, and Abubakar Salim, okay, the guy from this Surgent Studios. Amy Lee Shaw, who currently has me blocked on Twitter, I might have interacted with her once. I remember her Twitter user handle, DiveAmyDive, so I know I've interacted with her. Amy Lee Shaw is credited for being the lead script coordinator on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and this here is exactly why. Again, I know that she has me blocked due to the criticism of this game. Again, note the 4.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb. So this conversation that not everything Sweet Baby Inc. touches turns to shit is completely false. I mean, I think maybe God of War Ragnarok is the only really truly successful game that they've had any involvement in. So this is really bizarre that I've tried searching. I cannot figure out what this company is. If any of you guys know, let me know down below in the comments, because I have searched high and low and I cannot for the life of me understand what Baby Sucre Ltd, what their job is, what they actually do at this Ltd. I know that they're less than a year old. They were actually created in 2023, so they've only existed for about 11 months now. But apparently these people, the guy from Surgent Studios who created Tales of Kinzera, Kim Belair, the writer from Suicide Squad, all these people have this Ltd together, and again, this rabbit hole just keeps going deeper and deeper. Let me know what you guys think about all this, though. All right, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.